Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Amidst the sea of sun-kissed boxes, Maria stood tall, a beacon of hope in the vacant apartment. Her fingers, adorned with the day's excitement, grazed through her blonde mane as she surveyed the scene, a blank canvas awaiting her touch. The remnants of Aiden's past were mere props, waiting to be repurposed or discarded in the transition. With a whispered promise, she broke the silence. "This new beginning is mine. Aiden, farewell. Maria, arise." The weight of her chosen name, Maria, carried a liberation she had long yearned for. She savored the sound, the taste of freedom it brought, marking the end of her clandestine life, where each day was a practice in secrecy. Now, she held the key to a brand new city, a fresh start, a hard-earned liberation. A clean slate. The chance to live authentically from day one. The plan had been meticulously crafted over the past 2 years. Voice coaching sessions twice weekly, walking lessons to perfect a natural feminine gait, countless hours studying mannerisms and expressions. Every detail considered, right down to the modest 3-inch beige heels that now clicked confidently across the hardwood floor toward the largest box marked clothes. The box contained none of Aiden's old wardrobe. That had all been donated weeks ago. Instead, it held carefully selected A-line dresses in bright patterns, soft cardigans chosen to flatter while strategically concealing broader shoulders, and accessories that completed each outfit. Each item had been purchased gradually, tested at home, and perfected for this moment. Standing before the bathroom mirror an hour later, Maria emerged. Her blonde hair, grown out just enough to style in a feminine cut, framed her face softly. The emerald green A-line dress with its subtle floral pattern complemented her fair complexion, while the cream-colored cardigan provided both warmth and a flattering silhouette. Her makeup was subtle but effective, enough to enhance but not enough to draw undue attention. "Hello, Maria," she said to her reflection, practicing the higher register she'd spent months perfecting. Her voice coach would be proud. The tone was natural, the inflection authentic. The buzzing of her phone interrupted the moment. A text from the moving company. "Running 30 minutes late. Sorry for the inconvenience." Perfect. Just enough time to take her first walk around the new neighborhood as herself. The late September air carried a pleasant warmth as Maria stepped outside her apartment complex. Her beige heels clicked rhythmically against the sidewalk as she walked, practicing the gait she had spent countless hours perfecting. Shoulders relaxed, steps measured, hips moving naturally with each stride. "Good afternoon!" called a cheerful voice from the adjacent garden area. A woman with copper hair waved from where she was tending to a small herb garden. "You must be new. I'm Diana, apartment 3C. Maria paused, heart racing. This was it, her first real interaction. She smiled warmly. "I'm Maria. Just moved into 2B today, actually." "Well, welcome to Oak Ridge Heights. Once you're settled, a few of us get together for brunch on Sundays. You should join us." "I'd love that," Maria replied, surprised by how naturally the conversation flowed. "Thank you for the invitation." As she continued her walk, Maria felt a quiet confidence building. The first interaction had gone perfectly. No second glances, no questions. Just one woman welcoming another to the neighborhood. By the time the movers arrived, Maria had circled the block twice, exchanged pleasantries with an elderly man walking his dog, and received directions to the nearest grocery store from a jogger. Each interaction reinforced what she already knew. that she could do this. That she was doing this. The following days passed in a blur of unpacking and settling in. Maria arranged her new apartment with care, creating a space that reflected who she truly was. Soft throw pillows in complementary colors adorned the sofa. Framed botanical prints hung on the walls. Nothing remained of Aiden's old life. This space was entirely Maria's. Sunday arrived more quickly than expected. Standing before her closet, Maria selected a sky blue A-line dress with white polka dots and paired it with her comfortable beige cardigan. The outfit was casual enough for brunch, but put together enough for a first impression with potential friends. Diana had texted the address the night before, a small cafe just 2 blocks from their apartment complex. As Maria approached, she spotted a table of women on the patio, Diana's copper hair immediately recognizable. "Maria, over here!" Diana waved enthusiastically. "Everyone, this is Maria, my new neighbor I was telling you about." 4 pairs of eyes turned toward her with friendly smiles. Maria took a deep breath and approached. "This is Rebecca, Jenny, Vivian, and Amelia," Diana continued, pointing around the table. "Ladies, this is Maria." "Love that dress," commented Rebecca, a woman with dark curls and bright red lipstick. "The cut is perfect for your figure." "Thank you," Maria replied, settling into the empty chair. "I'm still figuring out my style, but A-lines seem to work well for me." "Smart choice." Vivian nodded approvingly. "I wish I'd figured that out sooner. Spent my 20s wearing things that did nothing for my body type." The conversation flowed more easily than Maria had dared hope. They discussed the neighborhood, recommended local shops and restaurants, and shared stories about their own moving experiences. When the waiter came, Maria ordered a simple avocado toast and herbal tea, making a mental note of how the other women interacted with him, the subtle social cues she was still learning to navigate. "So, what brings you to our little corner of the world?" asked Amelia, stirring her coffee. "Work? Fresh start?" "Both, actually," Maria answered carefully. "I'm a graphic designer, and my company has an office here, but I was ready for a change of scenery, too." "Brave of you," Jenny commented. "Moving to a new city where you don't know anyone? I couldn't do it." Maria smiled. "Sometimes you have to take a chance to become who you're meant to be." The words hung in the air for a moment, and Maria wondered if she'd revealed too much. But the women simply nodded in understanding. "That's profound," Diana said finally. "And absolutely true." Brunch extended into early afternoon as the conversation meandered through topics from work, frustrations, to dating disasters. Maria mostly listened, laughing at the right moments and offering occasional comments, careful not to reveal too much about her past. "We usually do a shopping trip once a month," Rebecca explained as they were preparing to leave. "Next Saturday at the Westfield Mall. You in?" "I'd love that," Maria replied honestly. The prospect of shopping with friends, something she'd never experienced as Aiden, filled her with both excitement and anxiety. Walking home alongside Diana, Maria felt a contentment she hadn't expected to find so quickly. "They liked you," Diana remarked, "especially Vivian. She doesn't warm up to people easily." "They're all lovely," Maria replied. "Thank you for including me." Diana waved her hand dismissively. "Please, new people bring fresh energy to the group. Plus, it's nice having another neighbor join. Makes the complex feel more like a community." The following weeks fell into a pleasant rhythm. Maria settled into her job, working remotely most days, but visiting the office twice weekly. Her colleagues knew her only as Maria. Her resume and credentials transferred seamlessly under her new legal name. a process that had taken months of paperwork before the move. Sunday brunches became a highlight of her week. The women's circle expanded to include occasional visits from other friends, but the core group remained consistent. Maria found herself growing particularly close to Vivian, a literature professor whose quiet intelligence and dry humor matched her own. "Your understanding of feminine space is fascinating," Vivian remarked one evening as they shared a bottle of wine at a local bistro after their shopping excursion. "Most men I know couldn't begin to comprehend the social navigation women perform daily." Maria nearly choked on her Chardonnay. "What do you mean?" "The way you analyze social dynamics, the attention you pay to how women interact in different contexts. It's like you've studied us." Vivian laughed. "In a non-creepy way, of course." Maria smiled, her heart racing. "I'm observant, I suppose." "You understand women's struggles so intuitively," Vivian continued. "The constant awareness of safety, the exhaustion of being perpetually polite. You get it in a way that's rare." A complex mixture of validation and guilt washed over Maria. The validation of being seen as she truly was, a woman, and the guilt of not sharing her full history with someone who was becoming a close friend. "I try to pay attention," she said finally, carefully choosing her words. "Everyone deserves to be understood on their own terms." The shopping trips proved both challenging and affirming. The first time she entered a fitting room with the other women, casually trying on dresses in a communal space, Maria had nearly turned around and fled. But she remembered her preparation, the shapewear beneath her clothes, the techniques her coach had taught her, and pushed through the anxiety. "This burgundy would look amazing with your complexion," Rebecca called over the fitting room divider, passing a dress to Maria. "The neckline might be perfect for you, too." Maria accepted the garment, a sophisticated A-line with 3/4 sleeves that would indeed disguise her broader shoulders. "Thanks, I'll try it." When she emerged, the women's approving nods sent a wave of validation through her. "See? Perfect," Rebecca said triumphantly. "You should wear jewel tones more often with your coloring." Maria purchased the dress, along with a matching cardigan. Each successful interaction, each moment of being seen and accepted as herself, built her confidence. Autumn deepened around them. The trees in the park near the apartment complex turned brilliant shades of orange and red. Maria added warmer layers to her wardrobe, scarves that softened her neckline, boots that were both practical and feminine. On a crisp October evening, as Maria returned from grocery shopping, she found Diana sitting on the steps outside their building, clearly upset. "Everything okay?" Maria asked, shifting her grocery bags to one arm. Diana looked up, quickly wiping away tears. "Oh, Maria! Sorry, I didn't see you there." "No need to apologize." Maria sat beside her, placing the groceries down carefully. "What's wrong?" "My sister called. My dad's in the hospital. Heart attack." Diana's voice cracked. "I need to fly home tomorrow, but I'm terrible with hospitals. The whole situation is bringing back memories of when my mom was sick and I just..." She broke off, fresh tears flowing. "Do you want company?" Maria asked without hesitation. "I have plenty of vacation days saved. I could go with you." Diana looked up in surprise. "You would do that? You barely know me." "I know enough," Maria replied simply. "No one should face something like this alone." The impulsive offer surprised even Maria herself. Traveling meant navigating airport security, staying in unfamiliar places, potentially facing situations she couldn't control. But the gratitude in Diana's eyes confirmed she'd made the right decision. Let me help you pack and make arrangements," Maria continued, standing and offering her hand. "My groceries can wait." 2 days later, they were on a plane to Minneapolis. Maria wore a comfortable navy A-line dress with her trusty beige cardigan, an outfit chosen for both comfort during travel and appropriateness for potential hospital visits. Diana dozed beside her, exhausted from the stress and hasty preparations. Maria gazed out the window at the clouds below, reflecting on how quickly life had changed. 3 months ago, she had been Aiden, preparing for this transition. Now she was Maria, flying across the country to support a friend who knew nothing of her past. The visit proved to be a turning point in more ways than one. Diana's father stabilized after surgery, much to everyone's relief. The family welcomed Maria warmly, grateful for her support of Diana during the crisis. "You're like the sister she never had," Diana's mother remarked one evening as they shared coffee in the hospital waiting room. "She's always been surrounded by brothers." Maria smiled, touched by the sentiment. "She's been a wonderful friend to me, too." During their 5-day stay, Maria navigated each new challenge successfully, from sharing a hotel room with Diana to meeting extended family members at the hospital. Her preparation served her well, and not once did anyone question her identity. On their return flight, Diana turned to her with serious eyes. "I don't know how to thank you for coming with me." "You don't need to thank me," Maria assured her. "That's what friends do." "No, this was above and beyond. You dropped everything, spent your own money, dealt with my emotional family." Diana shook her head. "It means more than I can express." Maria felt a tightness in her throat. "Your friendship has meant a lot to me, too. Moving to a new city, not knowing anyone. You and the others made me feel welcome immediately." Diana squeezed her hand. "Well, you're stuck with us now." Back home, Maria's circle of friends continued to expand through her connections with the brunch group. By Thanksgiving, her life felt fuller and more authentic than she had ever imagined possible. The holiday brought a new challenge when Vivian invited her to a family dinner. "My parents are in town, and I'm hosting a small gathering. Nothing fancy, just good food and conversation." Maria accepted despite her nerves. The evening would be her first holiday spent entirely as herself, surrounded by people who had only ever known her as Maria. She chose the burgundy dress from their shopping trip, paired with a cream cardigan and modest pearl earrings. The outfit was festive without being overdone, exactly right for a dinner with a professor's family. Vivian's apartment was warm and inviting, bookshelves lining every available wall space, and the scent of roasting turkey filling the air. Her parents, both retired academics, welcomed Maria with genuine warmth. "Vivian tells us you're a graphic designer," her father said as he poured wine. "What sort of projects do you work on?" The conversation flowed naturally as Maria described her recent work designing a campaign for a sustainable clothing brand. She found herself relaxing into the evening, laughing at Vivian's father's dry jokes and exchanging book recommendations with her mother. After dinner, as they helped clear the table, Vivian's mother pulled Maria aside. "I wanted to thank you for being such a good friend to my daughter. She mentioned how you understand her in ways others don't." Maria felt the familiar mixture of validation and guilt rise within her. "Vivian is extraordinary. I'm lucky to know her. She seems happier since you came into her life," the older woman continued. "More at ease. It's wonderful to see." Later, as Maria prepared to leave, Vivian walked her to the door. "That went well, I think." My parents adored you." "They're lovely people," Maria replied honestly. "Thank you for including me." Vivian hesitated for a moment. "I was wondering if you might want to have dinner sometime. Just the two of us. Not as friends, but as more than friends." The question caught Maria completely off guard. In all her planning, in all her preparation for this new life, she hadn't considered the possibility of dating, of someone being interested in her romantically. I'm flattered," she stammered. "Truly, but there are things about me you don't know." Vivian's expression was gentle. "We all have our histories, Maria. Whatever yours is, I'm interested in knowing you better." Maria took a deep breath. "Can I think about it?" "Of course," Vivian replied. "No pressure. The invitation stands whenever you're ready." Walking home through the quiet streets, Maria's mind raced. Vivian's interest was both thrilling and terrifying. To be seen as a desirable woman, to be wanted for who she truly was, it validated everything. And yet, the prospect of revealing her history, of potentially losing not just Vivian, but the entire circle of friends she'd built, filled her with dread. The internal debate continued for days. Maria threw herself into work, accepting extra projects to occupy her mind. She attended the Sunday brunch as usual, careful to maintain her normal dynamics with Vivian, who respectfully gave her space to consider the invitation. A week after Thanksgiving, Maria came to a decision. She texted Vivian, "Dinner tomorrow? There are things I'd like to talk about." They met at a quiet restaurant several blocks from their apartments. Maria arrived early, wanting time to settle her nerves. She had chosen a forest green A-line dress with her comfortable beige cardigan, an outfit that gave her confidence. Vivian arrived precisely on time, looking elegant in a simple black dress. "You look lovely," she said, as she sat down across from Maria. "Thank you," Maria replied, her mouth suddenly dry. "You too." They ordered wine and appetizers, making casual conversation about work and mutual friends. As their main courses arrived, Maria knew she couldn't delay any longer. "Vivian, before anything else happens between us, there's something you should know about me." She folded her hands tightly in her lap to hide their trembling. "When you said I understand women's struggles intuitively, you were more right than you realized." Vivian set down her fork, giving Maria her full attention. "Before I moved here, before I was Maria to everyone in my life, I lived as someone else." The words came slowly, carefully chosen. "My birth name was Aiden." Understanding dawned gradually in Vivian's eyes, but she remained silent, allowing Maria to continue. "Moving here gave me the opportunity to live authentically from day one, to be seen as who I truly am, without the burden of people's preconceptions." Maria took a shaky breath. "I've never been dishonest about who I am. Maria is who I've always been inside, but I understand if this changes things between us." The silence that followed seemed eternal. Maria watched Vivian's face, trying to read her reaction, preparing herself for rejection. Finally, Vivian reached across the table and placed her hand over Maria's. "Thank you for trusting me with this." Maria blinked, surprised by the simple acceptance in Vivian's voice. "Does it change how I see you?" Vivian continued thoughtfully. "Yes, in that I now understand even more about your perspective and experiences. No, in that you're still the same Maria I've come to care for deeply." Tears pricked at Maria's eyes. I was afraid that I would react badly. Vivian shook her head. Maria, I've spent my academic career studying identity and self-determination in literature. The courage it takes to live authentically is something I deeply respect. Relief washed over Maria, so powerful it left her momentarily speechless. I do have questions, Vivian admitted. Not because I need you to justify yourself, but because I want to understand your journey better. But they can wait for whenever you're comfortable sharing more. I'm open to questions, Maria replied, her voice steadier now. There's so much about myself I've wanted to share but was afraid to. Their dinner extended late into the evening. As Maria shared parts of her story, she had never spoken aloud to anyone in her new life. The years of knowing she was different, the careful planning for her transition, the decision to make a clean break and start fresh. Vivian listened with genuine interest, asking thoughtful questions without judgment. When Maria explained the voice coaching and walking lessons, Vivian smiled. That explains why you always seem so poised. I thought you were just naturally graceful. Hardly, Maria laughed. You should have seen me the first time I tried walking in heels. Disaster doesn't begin to cover it. As they prepared to leave the restaurant, a new question occurred to Maria. The others, Diana, Rebecca, Jenny, Amelia, do you think I should tell them too? Vivian considered this carefully. That's entirely your decision, but for what it's worth, I believe they would react with the same acceptance I have. They care about you, Maria. The person you are now is who they know and love. Walking home together through the gently falling snow, Maria felt lighter than she had in months. Vivian's hand in hers was warm, a tangible reminder that she had been accepted wholly, history and all. Would you like to come up for coffee? Vivian asked when they reached her building. Maria hesitated only briefly before nodding. I'd like that. Vivian's apartment was as comfortable as Maria remembered from Thanksgiving. Books everywhere, soft lighting, and an overwhelming sense of peace. They talked for hours more, gradually shifting from Maria's past to their shared interests, their hopes, their views on everything from politics to poetry. When Maria finally prepared to leave, Vivian walked her to the door. May I kiss you? She asked, softly. Maria nodded, her heart racing. The kiss was gentle, brief, but filled with promise. Good night, Maria, Vivian whispered as they parted. Good night, Maria replied, touching her lips gently as she walked down the hallway. The weeks that followed were filled with a joy Maria had never dared hope for. Her relationship with Vivian deepened gradually, built on mutual respect and genuine connection. They took things slowly, each step forward a new discovery for Maria, who was experiencing romance from her authentic perspective for the first time. As Christmas approached, Maria faced the decision of whether to tell the rest of her friends about her history. After much discussion with Vivian, she decided to share her truth with Diana first, given the closeness they had developed during the trip to Minneapolis. They met for coffee on a snowy afternoon in mid-December. Maria wore a crimson A-line dress with her cream cardigan, festive for the season, but also an outfit that gave her confidence. Diana listened with wide eyes as Maria shared her story, but her expression held no judgment, only surprise and then understanding. So that's why you seemed so careful when we went shopping that first time, Diana said when Maria finished speaking. I thought you were just shy. Maria smiled weakly. Terrified would be more accurate. But I wanted so badly to belong, to have female friends who saw me as I truly am. Well, we do see you as you truly are, Diana said firmly. "You're Maria. The fact that you were called something else before doesn't change who you are now." The relief of this second acceptance was overwhelming. Maria found herself crying, something she rarely allowed herself to do in public. Diana reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "Thank you for trusting me with this. It can't have been easy." "It wasn't," Maria admitted. "But keeping secrets from friends feels wrong." "Do you want to tell the others? I can be there with you if that would help." Maria nodded gratefully. "I think I do. And yes, having support would mean everything." They gathered at Diana's apartment the following weekend. Rebecca, Jenny, Amelia, with Vivian and Diana flanking Maria for moral support. The atmosphere was relaxed, everyone enjoying mulled wine and holiday cookies, unaware of the revelation to come. When there was a natural lull in conversation, Maria cleared her throat. "There's something I want to share with all of you, because your friendship has become so important to me." The women turned attentive faces toward her, curious but supportive. With Vivian's hand steady in hers, Maria told her story once more. She explained her journey, her decision to start fresh in a new city, her gratitude for their immediate acceptance of her as one of them. When she finished, the room was quiet for a moment. Then Rebecca spoke up. "Well, that explains why you have such an excellent eye for flattering cuts. You actually studied what works." The unexpected response broke the tension, and everyone laughed, including Maria. "Seriously, though," Amelia added. "Thank you for telling us. It doesn't change how we see you at all. Except that now we know you're even braver than we thought," Jenny added. One by one, they expressed their support, asked thoughtful questions, and reassured Maria that her place in their circle was secure. The evening ended with hugs all around and plans for their usual Sunday brunch. As the new year approached, Maria found herself reflecting on the incredible journey of the past months. Her life had transformed in ways she had hoped for, but never quite believed possible. She had a fulfilling career, genuine friendships, a promising relationship, and most importantly, the freedom to live authentically. On New Year's Eve, Vivian hosted a small gathering for their circle of friends. Maria arrived early to help prepare, wearing the burgundy dress that had become one of her favorites, paired with her cream cardigan and a delicate gold necklace Vivian had given her for Christmas. As midnight approached, they gathered on Vivian's small balcony to watch fireworks explode across the city skyline. Vivian slipped her arm around Maria's waist. "Any resolutions for the new year?" she asked softly. Maria considered the question. "Just one. To keep living truthfully, without fear." "I think you're already doing that beautifully," Vivian replied, pressing a kiss to her temple. As their friends counted down the final seconds of the year, Maria looked around at the circle of people who had accepted her completely. Diana with her warm heart, Rebecca with her fashion sense, Jenny and Amelia with their unwavering support, and Vivian, whose love had given her a new kind of courage. The fireworks burst overhead in brilliant colors as the new year began. Maria closed her eyes briefly, overwhelmed with gratitude. The journey had been long and often difficult, but standing here now, surrounded by genuine acceptance and love, she knew with absolute certainty that she was exactly where she was meant to be, living exactly as she was meant to live, as her true self. In the sky above, the fireworks continued their spectacular display, celebrating not just a new year, but for Maria, the continuation of a life authentically lived. Her blonde hair caught the colorful reflections as she smiled, looking forward to all the ordinary and extraordinary moments that awaited her, moments she would experience fully and honestly as herself. As Maria.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!